Jerome, would you please escort Mr. Kern into the courtroom? Hello, sir. Mr. Kern, thank you so much for joining us today. You know we're here talking about the paternity issue as it relates to baby Kalia. And it has been brought to this court's attention that you also were having a sexual relationship with Miss Fisher.
This child was born at 6 pounds. He didn't look anything like my other son.
That's a lie. My son was
never
5
been sick.
weeks
We don't have
premature and
any of these
7'5".
sicknesses in my family going back centuries.
You're an irresponsible man who needs to man up and take care of your child. And we're gonna prove today that you are the father of Ralph.
But first thing, you gotta make sure this is my child.
For sure.
What you mean?
Imagine walking into paternity court only a week and a half after another casual hookup. That's where Ms. Fisher finds herself today. She's certain Mr. Stewart is the father of baby Kalia, and she wants answers quickly because she's worried about her daughter's health. Mr. Stewart steps in with doubts, arguments, and a whole lot of tension. It's messy from the start.
Ms. Fisher, you're here to prove that Mr. Stewart is your daughter Kalia's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
You state that your daughter has a serious medical condition and it is imperative that you know the father's medical history. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Fisher explains that she believes Mr. Stewart is the father because they were consistently intimate during the time Kalia was likely conceived. There was no romance between them, just a physical connection, something they both acknowledge. Still, one look at her shows how tired she is of the uncertainty.
Brought this action, so you're here to prove that Mr. Stewart is your child's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why do you believe he is the biological father?
Because at the time my baby was conceived, that's who I was having sexual relations with.
Take me back. What's the nature of this relationship?
It was just a sexual relationship, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's enough to make a baby. Did you use protection?
The first few times, yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Here's where things really heat up. Only about a week after they had been together, she showed him a positive pregnancy test. His immediate response? It's not mine. Not the reaction anyone hopes for, and you could practically feel the air in the room tighten.
It's not the reaction you look for when you tell a man you're pregnant.
I don't know.
So he says it's not mine, and then what do you say?
I just really just roll with it, Your Honor, because I mean, at the end of the day, I got 2 other kids. I don't have time to be begging no man to step up and be a man.
After this is over, did the relationship continue?
Yes, he was just at my house like a week and a half ago.
The timeline doesn't get any clearer from there. They stopped talking for months, reconnected when the baby was born, and even continued seeing each other, unprotected, as recently as 10 days before this court appearance. For someone unsure, his behavior definitely sends mixed signals. It's chaos in motion.
Then we start back talking, you know what I'm saying, like when she had the baby or whatever, and now she talking about I'm her baby's dad. You know, this is the first time I never really heard of it. She ain't tell me nothing like that.
Were you around during the pregnancy?
No.
Did you go to doctor's appointment?
No, Your Honor. I was under the impression that it wasn't my child.
Then another twist hits. Mr. Stewart claims another man, Mr. Kern, could be the father. And to everyone's shock, Ms. Fisher gave the baby a different man's last name. You can almost hear the entire courtroom gasp at once.
Another man as the biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Which man is this?
Mr. Kern.
Mr. Kern?
Yes, Your Honor.
He's in court today, but the second part of your statement was there's another man's name on the birth certificate. Is this true, Ms. Fisher?
His name is not on the birth certificate, but my daughter does have his last name.
Ms. Fisher says the last name was a personal choice, not a clue about paternity. But Mr. Stewart argues that she's calling him a deadbeat while giving her child another man's surname. That combination feeds his doubts, and it's easy to see how quickly the situation spiraled.
She had another man that was a potential father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you believe that you are just a part of this equation, but because you have no definitive answer, you believe she should not be running around town talking about you, basically.
Exactly, Your Honor.
And putting your name in it. Okay. So, Miss Fisher, Mr. Kern, who we're going to hear from in a second, let's talk about your relationship with him.
Enter Mr. Kern. Jerome brings him in, and Mr. Kern calmly admits he could also be the father. He and Ms. Fisher were intimate during the same conception window, and he doesn't deny it or shy away. Just straightforward honesty. Cue the rising tension.
Jerome, would you please escort Mr. Kern into the courtroom? Hello, sir. Mr. Kern, thank you so much for joining us today. You know we're here talking about the paternity issue as it relates to baby Kalia. And it has been brought to this court's attention that you also were having a sexual relationship with Ms. Fisher.
Then comes the emotional bombshell. Mr. Kern reveals this isn't the first time he's been in this position with Ms. Fisher. He once believed he fathered her older child, cared for that baby, and later found out he wasn't the biological dad. His voice cracks as he remembers it. The pain is still fresh, and the entire courtroom can feel it.
I'm denying because Ms. Fisher, she always been lying to me, you know what I'm saying?
Because we already done went through this one time with an older child.
What do you mean?
We start inboxing each other on Facebook.
It always starts with Facebook, don't it, Jerome?
And we started inboxing each other, you know what I'm saying? Then we got real cornered, you know. We decided we wanted to do something, you know what I'm saying?
So you started to have a sexual relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Lake wastes no time calling out everyone in the room for the eye-rolling and head-shaking, reminding them that all 3 adults played a part in the confusion. Mr. Kern openly admits he suspected he might be Kalia's father as well. They didn't have a relationship, just a moment inspired by a certain song. Judge Lake advises them not to let music lead their decisions again, and honestly, it's impossible not to laugh.
Like I say,
Don't y'all shake your head, cause you in it too. You still sleeping with her, you can make another paternity issue right now. You was just with her a week ago, and you was with her for this baby and had the paternity issue on the last child. None of you all should be shaking your head. You're all in it. You all guilty. So Mr. Kern, you taking care of this baby. You think this baby's yours.
yes, ma'am.
Then everything shifts. Baby Kalia is only 2 months old, and doctors believe she may have a hole in her heart. If it doesn't close on its own, surgery could be necessary. The room falls silent. This is far bigger than determining paternity. This is about urgent medical information her life might depend on.
Now, Kalia is 2 months old, and Ms. Fisher, you say she has a medical issue that is important. It's imperative that you find out who her biological father is so that you can understand this issue more.
Yes, ma'am.
Explain.
The doctor says she has a hole right in the middle of her heart, and she has too much blood going to her lungs. And so in 2 months, they might have to do surgery if the hole doesn't close.
A medical expert explains the anatomy of the heart and what can happen when there's a hole between chambers. It can strain the heart and increase the risk of dangerous infections. It's a clinical explanation, but the weight of it is overwhelming. You can see the worry take over Ms. Fisher's face.
Questions about this medical issue. Mr. Kern, you're excused. You can stand over at the defendant's podium, please. Jerome, could you please escort our medical expert into the courtroom?
Certainly.
Dr. Brown Parks.
Stand.
Thank you for joining us today. We are here discussing not just a paternity issue relating to beautiful baby Kalia, but her mom, Ms. Fisher, has explained to this court that she also is faced with a very serious medical challenge.
More details follow. The outcome depends on factors like genetics, environmental exposures, and complete family health history, something they still don't have. Judge Lake notices Mr. Stewart quietly wiping his eyes after looking at Kalia's picture. That single gesture says more than words. Even he can't ignore the seriousness now.
Part, but you also have a top and a bottom. The top being the atria, the 2 holding chambers, and the bottom being the ventricles. So you can have a hole in between the 2 atrias or in between the 2 ventricles. Every time that heart contracts, the lub and the dub, you are pushing blood from the oxygenated side back to the deoxygenated side, so the bad blood.
Judge Lake turns the accountability all the way up. She reminds Ms. Fisher that these choices aren't just messy, they have real consequences, especially when a baby's health is at stake. The entire mood shifts. Jerome steps forward. The envelope appears. The room holds its breath.
There's lots of factors that come into play. There's toxins that can be exposed, the child can be exposed to in utero. There's familial issues, but more it's important to know who the father is so that we can get a complete family medical history. And, you know, fast forward 16 years and this little girl wants to run track or play basketball.
DNA results, part 1, in Fisher versus Stewart regarding 2-month-old Kalia. Get ready, the shock is real.
In the case of Fisher versus Stewart, when it comes to 2-month-old Kalia, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Kern, you are not the father.
And if that stunned you, just wait for the second result. Things are about to get even wilder.
The case of Fisher versus Stewart, when it comes to 2-month-old Kalia, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Stewart, you are not the father.
Oh.
Don't clown, don't clown. Don't you dare clown in here. Miss Fisher, there's something going on.
We jump into another case where things are no less explosive. When a man hires a private investigator to track his girlfriend, you know trust has left the building. Mr. Mason walks in convinced that Ms. Malone had men coming and going while he was at work. Now he's not sure he's the father of 1-year-old Avery. Ms. Malone admits she cheated, but insists Mason is still the dad. Their relationship, their stability, and their child's future all hang in the balance. And just like that, the drama resets to maximum.
Mr. Mason, you say today will determine the future of your relationship with the defendant, Ms. Malone. You say you lost all trust when you set up a watchdog to keep tabs on Ms. Malone and discovered that she had men coming in and out of the house while you were at work. And now you believe 1-year-old Avery is not your daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge Lake recenters the room and asks how their relationship began. Mason says they met online and things felt normal until they didn't. When she describes their situation as wishy-washy, his whole expression hardens. You can see the trust draining out of him from across the courtroom. Everything unraveled fast, and now the stakes are higher than ever.
Take me back. I want to understand the nature of this relationship.
Okay, when me and Miss Malone actually first met, we met on a website. I took her out on a date. We went to somewhere to eat.
So this started out as a regular courtship.
Yes,
You
Your
went
Honor.
on a date.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Malone, you had a great relationship in the beginning.
Yes, ma'am.
And then somewhere along the line, it started getting a little wishy-washy?
Yes, Your Honor.
And here comes the classic "we were on a break" showdown. Ms. Malone insists they had taken space. Mason fires back with a firm absolutely not. The tension is sharp enough to slice through the air. If you've ever witnessed a break versus no break argument, you know this exact energy. Cold, defensive, and heated without any yelling. Judge Lake lifts an eyebrow that basically asks, so which version is the truth? This situation is a whole mess.
On a break at all. We wasn't on a break.
Were you all
For my knowledge,
committed?
we was in a relationship.
Your Honor,
still.
yeah, we've been on and off for 3 years now. Right now, we're off.
Are you living together?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're off, but you live together.
Yes, Your Honor.
It's been like that.
How's that work?
It's real awkward, but I'm there for the kids, and because I still love Miss Malone.
Malone then explains the now infamous alley pickups. She coached a local cheer squad and says a male friend occasionally drove her to games. Totally innocent, according to her. But even Judge Lake points out the optics. Alleyway pickups paired with admitted cheating. Suspicion practically writes itself. Mason's side-eye in that moment could win awards. Seriously, just look at his expression.
And a guy had came to pick me up to take me to our game that we had that day. It was no relations. It was, we were strictly friends, and that was it.
So can you see why he maybe was suspicious about you getting picked up in the alley if you also admitted you were sleeping with other people, or?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's already confusing because he said he wasn't on break, but you said you were.
Then comes the surveillance reveal. Mason had his neighbor monitoring the front door like a personal security system. That's a full-blown neighborhood watch upgrade. Malone says the man seen at her door in the footage was simply her father, and she even has dad confirming it. Judge Lake pushes further. Were there other men during that time? The air tightens instantly. Everyone leans forward like they're bracing for a roster to be announced.
Did your watchdog say that there were any other men, Mr. Mason?
Yes, Your Honor.
Really?
There were multiple.
Did he give descriptions of all of them?
No, Your Honor,
Yes,
it was
Your
not.
Honor. Yes,
No, it
Your Honor,
wasn't.
he actually did.
No,
Yes,
it wasn't.
Your Honor, he actually did.
When I cheated on Mr. Mason, we was having problems in our relationship. Because the simple fact he was not showing me any attention, he just wasn't being a man that I expected him to be.
And then, boom, Mason claims there were multiple men. Malone pushes back, and Judge Lake narrows in on the most important detail, the conception window. Did the cheating happen within that time frame? Malone admits yes, and also says they didn't use protection. Meanwhile, she was also intimate with Mason in that same period. If you needed the perfect formula for paternity court chaos, there it is.
When it comes to the window of conception, that's what's relevant as it relates to the paternity. So when you cheated, when you were out with this other person, was that during the window of conception?
Yes, Your Honor, it was.
It was. All right. Now, when you were cheating, did you all use protection?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. When you cheated, did you also have an intimate relationship with Mr. Mason during the same window of conception?
Yes, Your Honor, multiple times.
When asked whether she ever told Mason the baby might not be his, Mason hesitates. He says he literally woke up one night to discover there was another potential father. His face shows real hurt. The room goes quiet and anger simmers just beneath the surface. You can feel the tension spike. This is the moment where the trust train completely derailed.
When you found out you were pregnant, Did you tell the other guy it could possibly be his child as well?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
When you told Mr. Mason you were pregnant, did you also say to him, and you know because I cheated, it could possibly be the other guy's child as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
So she did tell you that, Mr. Mason?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why'd you hesitate?
I had to find out about the other guy from waking up out of my sleep.
Mason then admits he made a public announcement at a gathering that she was pregnant, while slipping in a not-so-subtle dig that the child might not be his. Ouch. Malone calls the whole scene foul. It's awkward, emotional, and messy. Everyone in the courtroom is mentally connecting dates like this is a live-action timeline puzzle.
She said she didn't want me to find out like this, and that I was awake and I overheard everything.
Your Honor, that is not true. However, I told him as soon as I found out I was pregnant with her. He had so much anger, he decides to announce it with a room full of our friends and my mom.
Your Honor, I had anger for the simple fact that I was working all these hours trying to provide for my family.
Then the Facebook evidence drops. Malone presents photos, Avery compared to another child, Kaysen, suggesting Mason once mixed them up. That's her reasoning for believing Mason is Avery's father. The entire gallery leans in. It's the classic she brought receipts moment. But the real question, does any of it actually prove anything? Judge Lake's expression clearly says, I'm not convinced.
Have a Facebook post on us talking back and forth about our oldest child and my youngest. If I could go up there and
Oh, absolutely. Please explain what's going on here.
Okay, this is, however, our daughter Avery. This is me, LaQuisha Malone. Do you know who this is? Me again. Do you know this is Avery? Mr. Mason, it's not me. Yes, it is. You can't tell me that's not Avery.
Mason dismisses the resemblance argument instantly. He points out the differences. Cheeks, noses, nothing matches. Judge Lake notes one of the images is a 3D ultrasound, which makes the comparison a bit unfair. The entire resemblance debate spirals into a loop of camera angles, baby features, and stubborn conviction. Peak petty in high definition.
Your doubts subside?
No, Your Honor. Kaysen doesn't have chubby cheeks. The nose is totally different. They look nothing alike.
To me, they look
Nothing at all.
Well, one baby's in the womb and one isn't.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
It was a 3D
That's what she's
ultrasound.
comparing to, a 3D ultrasound picture versus a real picture. Your Honor, at first it was two guys that popped up at our doorstep saying they were Avery's father.
Then Malone's mother takes the stand and bluntly states she doesn't believe Mason is the father because she believes they were on a break. That statement lands like a thunderclap. If tension had a temperature, it would have melted through the judge's bench. Judge Lake listens with calm professionalism, but the undercurrent is loud. Even family opinions aren't clearing up this fog.
Children could look alike because they share the same mother. Miss Malone, your mother is actually here, and I'd like to bring her into the courtroom. Jerome, will you please escort Ms. Malone's mother in? Hello, ma'am, please be seated. I have to ask you, do you believe Mr. Mason is your granddaughter's biological father?
No, I do not, because they were on a break when she was conceived, and I knew that my child was seeing someone else because they were on a break.
The story takes another sharp turn as the conversation shifts to who actually showed up at the hospital. Then suddenly an even bigger twist hits. Court documents reveal Malone is pregnant again. Mason says he found messages in her phone that made him question this second pregnancy too. Malone admits she was with another man after their breakup. The courtroom goes so quiet you could hear a heartbeat. 2 paternity mysteries in one session. This is a full double feature.
You don't seem like you're a fan of Mr. Mason.
No, I'm not.
But your daughter maintains and has testified that she truly believes he is.
She loves the man, so of course she wants all her children to be by the same person. I understand that. And for her sake, I hope that she is his, for her sake. But as far as him, no.
Is it because you don't like him, or is it because you just truly don't believe he is?
I truly don't believe that he is.
They walk through the timeline of the unborn child. Malone was seeing someone new, then got involved with Mason again. Both sides look completely worn out, like they're already at the season finale before the actual finale. Judge Lake reaches for the envelopes, and the tension spikes. This is peak messy. Everyone braces for impact.
I'm 6 months, Your Honor.
Is there a question as to the paternity of this child as well?
Yes, Your Honor. He doesn't think that the unborn is his.
I did it first until I found proof of doubt in Miss Malone's phone.
First envelope, Avery's paternity results. Judge Lake reads the findings.
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
He has no interest. I think we need to move on to the unborn child. Now, in order for us to determine paternity, a prenatal DNA test was performed. A blood sample was drawn from the mother, and fetal DNA was isolated from the sample. Genetic analysis was performed, and a probability of paternity was generated.
Second envelope, the results for the unborn child. Judge Lake begins to read again.
Mr. Mason, you are the father. Well, this is a mess. You have to at least be committed to co-parenting and learning how to raise the children you do have together well, and learning how to be committed to leaving each other alone.
Then we launch straight into another case. Ms. Smith arrives with a full suitcase of chaos. Mr. Benjamin Jameson insists he's not the father of her two sons, Malachi and Michael, and wants his name removed from the records. Judge Lauren is ready, Jerome's at his post, and the tension is thick before anyone even sits down. Deep breath, let's roll the first clip.
Mr. Jameson, you've petitioned the court for a DNA test because you are certain you are not the father of the defendant's two sons, Malachi and Michael. You say you made a mistake signing one of the birth certificates and need today's paternity results to get your name off of it. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jameson lays out how quickly everything escalated. They met, and within 2 weeks, he moved in. A month later, she kicked him out so she could reconnect with her ex. The awkwardness is palpable. He says it calmly, but the story is pure turbulence. I moved in, and then I was out.
You are not the father.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm not the father.
Explain.
All right, so I'm just take you to the beginning. I moved in with her probably like 2 weeks after knowing her, and then she kicked me out. You know, she said she wanted to mess with her ex. She ain't know where she wanted to go right now.
So you moved in, you met, and you all were just having a relationship.
Right.
Then the phone receipts hit. He discovers messages about the ex, including a bombshell. She slept with him on his birthday. Miss Smith's expression, that barely there flinch, speaks volumes. Judge Lauren locks in. Is this the same ex? Yes, same one.
I did, but then I ended up back with him. I told him I didn't want to go to my exes. I was done with it, and I went
she knew what
right
was
back
right for
with
her,
him.
Your Honor.
So you asked him to come back on home?
Yeah.
You
was just
came.
an act, Your Honor.
Hold on, I'm getting to that part. Who were you with before you asked him to come back?
2 dudes, Your Honor. She was with 2 dudes, you know.
How'd you find that out?
But it doesn't stop there. A neighborhood man and a third guy also pop up in the messages. Mr. Jameson says the phone revealed a whole trilogy. He's half laughing, half hurting, and Judge Lauren offers a warning. Be careful what you go searching for. Sometimes you find more than you expected. And sir, he definitely did.
And this is the same ex?
This is the same ex, yeah.
So, Miss Smith, you got caught now, and what happened?
We argued about it, then he would go, he would leave, and then eventually he'll come right back.
Mr. Jameson?
Yes, ma'am.
You said there were 2 men she cheated with?
Yes, there was a guy in the neighborhood. Cause I was always asking her around the dudes that she bring me around.
Mesite Smith doesn't deny much, which only intensifies his doubts. He looks worn down, frustrated, angry, embarrassed, and honestly, anyone would be. The tension ricochets around the courtroom. You can practically see Judge Lauren mentally flipping through a calendar trying to untangle the dates.
A third guy?
Yeah, there's a third guy.
Who told you this?
I found it in the phone. The phone. The
you
phone
can't
tells
stay
it.
out that phone,
Nah,
can you?
I couldn't. And you know, the saddest thing was I really wasn't trying to say things because I'm going snooping for things. So I can't really be too mad, you know, but I'm mad.
Then come the emotional details and the birth certificate. Mr. Jameson admits he signed Malachi's birth certificate even though he already had doubts. That's a heavy emotional commitment, and you can feel how much it weighed on him.
Actually being able to be vulnerable and open up and be in a relationship, that's strong. But Miss Smith, you do have to understand his doubt. I mean, let's be honest. This is a lot.
And then I signed the birth certificate. I signed the birth certificate even though I had doubts.
So you went and signed the birth certificate for which child?
for Malachi.
What came next? A cycle of breaking up and getting back together until baby Michael. Miss Smith says she wasn't with anyone else at that time. Mr. Jameson counters with claims about explicit messages she sent. Their voices say they were trying to make the relationship work. Their receipts say otherwise.
That means financially, physically, all that, Benjamin.
I've been there too. I bought diapers, bought clothes,
How many
toys.
times? How many
it's not
times?
about how many times. I do it when they need it.
So, Miss Smith, what happened to the relationship after Malachi was born?
It was just, we break up, get back together.
Did you move on and start dating somebody else?
Next up, the ultrasound. Mrs. Smith started seeing another man in early to mid-October. When doctors told her she was about 3 months pregnant, she initially thought that man might be the father, until the timeline circled back to Benjamin. More confusion, more math, more drama.
Seeing this and you're saying these are not just flirtatious text messages.
Yeah, you know, sending naked pictures, you know, trying to pose up, do a little posing.
Were you sending naked pictures to men, Miss Smith?
I don't even know what he's talking about. I really don't.
All right, so who were you with before you found out you were pregnant with Michael?
Well, I got pregnant around the end of August, early September with Michael. Around October, mid-October, early October, I did start seeing someone else.
Mr. Jameson hits back with the line of the day. How you gonna be pregnant for 11 months? Judge Lauren immediately calls for the calendar. He explains their last intimacy was around July 20th, due date June 8th, baby born April 16th, premature. And so begins the math battle.
Testifying is that when you got the ultrasound, it came back that you were 3 months pregnant.
Yeah, the baby.
So
Michael
when you counted back, you felt like it wasn't this other guy's baby now.
Exactly.
It was Mr. Jameson.
Yes.
Your Honor, how you gonna be pregnant for 11 months?
11 months.
That's a good question, Mr. Jameson. You submitted a calendar to the court?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Ms. Smith responds with a photo that has a timestamp. She insists conception happened on September 9th, 2017, and says she has proof. Benjamin says he remembers the date, but not the intimacy. That side eye he gives her could power a city block.
That's the last time we had sex.
The baby's due date was June 8th.
June 8th. The baby came 2 months earlier.
I also...
2 months to 2 weeks?
2 months. The baby was born April 16th.
He was premature. That's what it was. He was premature. He was supposed to be due June 8th.
The full term date for them to be born was in June.
Right.
And that would have been 11 months after the last time you had sex with her.
That wasn't the last time.
That
was not.
John.
No, it was not.
I'm telling you.
Judge Lauren cuts through all the noise and gets straight to the point. Did Benjamin sign Michael's birth certificate? Benjamin admits he didn't, but he still shows up, helping with feedings, diapers, and day-to-day care. It's that complicated place where doubt and responsibility coexist under the same roof.
One of his family members had a party. They had a party, and me and him both attended. That was around, I would say, early September when all that happened. He
Didn't have sex.
Yes. He got to an altercation with someone, and we was trying to have intercourse around that time, and he couldn't do it.
Trying to have it is not the same thing.
But it did happen.
Then comes a fiery paperwork twist. Benjamin walks in with an actual application ready to change the children's last name if the results don't point to him. Ms. Smith insists that deep down, he knows both boys are his, but the energy in the courtroom says otherwise. Everyone is waiting for science to speak.
What's your relationship with Michael and Malachi? Do you have a relationship with them? They're 2 and 3 months. I mean, do you?
Well, yeah, I take care of them kids. I be there for them kids. I play with them, change their diapers, you know, feed them. Whatever needs to be done, it just gets done.
Do you feel connected to them, like you're their father?
Not with Michael. Not with Michael.
What about Malachi?
Yeah, I do.
The arguments start fading into raw honesty. Ms. Smith confesses she wants their family back together. Benjamin admits he loves her, but can't keep living with uncertainty clouding every day. Judge Lauren reads the situation perfectly. A communication breakdown mixed with old wounds created enough chaos to invite other men into the equation.
I mean, you are so emphatic when you say, you know these kids are yours, you know it, you know. But the truth is, he doesn't know it because you didn't know. You told the other guy you thought he was his.
Right, but then when I found out how far along our pregnant was, I came straight to Ben and I told him, I said, this is your baby. 3 months, but when I found out I was pregnant 3 months ago, I didn't know that guy.
Then the judge asked the question hanging over everything. Are you prepared if one or both aren't his? Ms. Smith stands firm. She believes she's correct about paternity. And with that, the envelope appears. The room tightens, breath held, time slows.
Like, why are you doing this?
I would love for our family to get worked out, like I said.
So it does matter to you?
It does. It really does. And if he's willing to work it out, that's all I'm saying. I would want to. I want my kids to have a father. I didn't have a dad like that. I didn't. I would want my kids to have their father.
You do?
Yeah.
And can I ask you this? Have you prepared yourself that if one of the children aren't his, or maybe both, have you prepared yourself of where you go from there?
Results for Malachi.
The next result is for Michael. In the case of Jameson versus Smith, when it comes to 3-month-old Michael Jameson, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Jameson, you are the father.
Thank you.